bottom. People call you the underdog. They think you're the underdog, but you're at the bottom. But we going straight to the top.
Straight to the top.
Today, we kings. I'm a king, sometimes I feel like I'm petty.
In the pits living my dream. I don't think that they ready. Yeah. Area 51 podcast right here. You already know what we do. We're going to talk about a little bit of racing, and we're going to talk about pacing back and forth. We're trying to figure out who gonna win and who going to come at the bottom. Let's go. This is Cap Houston right here. Bobby, what you got for me?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Bobby. We've got Robert and Dave in the chat. How you guys doing tonight?
Doing well, Bobby. How about you?
Doing good.
Oh, yeah. Doing real good.
So, oh, geez. So tonight is episode 26 of the Area 51 Racing Podcast. We have Bobby McCarty and we got Ashton Higgins. How you guys doing tonight?
Good, and you?
Doing good.
Doing good. How about you guys?
Doing real good.
Doing well, Ashton and Bobby.
So, Bobby, my first question for you, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what got you involved in racing?
My name's Bobby McCarty. I'm a 31-year-old auto mechanic that drives race cars on the weekend. It's kind of hard to say what really got me started. My dad started racing go-karts when I was about 3. I kind of grew up at the racetrack, a small racetrack in Madison, North Carolina. And I started racing when I was 6. And when I picked it up, he kind of hung his helmet up so I could start racing. And then, we did the go-karts for about 12 years or so. And then moved up to the House and Legacy cars, and then moved up to Limiteds at South Boston, and then we went to late model, and then we got hooked up with Barry Nelson with Autos by Nelson, and we won a few championships, won a few races, and now I drive for RNS race cars.
Rob?
Yeah, I'm sorry. So, Bobby, you won the Cars Late Model Stock Tour Championship 3 years in a row. You're a 3-time champion, 2018, 2019, and 2021. 2018 was your first full-time year in that series, and you end up winning your very first race in that series, and ultimately the championship. What was the reason behind your immediate success?
We just had really good cars at the time. The year prior, we finished 3rd or 4th at the South Boston 200. And then we won the Hampton Heat later on that year, and had a really good car at the Valley Star Credit Union 300. And we broke a flywheel running 3rd with like 50 to go. So, 17 was kind of our year that we hit on a lot of stuff. We just raced locally. And then we started out 18 with the Cars Tour for our first race, and we just fired off hot. I'd been working with the guys at Autos by Nelson for 2 years at the time, and 1 year my personal stuff, 1 year with driving their stuff. And like I said, when we hit the Cars Tour, we kind of hit the ground running, and we fired off with really good success. I think we won Tri-County, then finished 4th at Myrtle Beach the weekend after, and then we come back and won Hickory after Myrtle Beach. So it was just kind of one of them deals where, when you're hot, you're hot. And, we just picked the right time to run the Cars Tour, when we was at the top of our game.
Now, are those two completely different cars that you transferred from being in like a late model to, I guess, are now known as like the super late models?
So ours is still a late model. We don't have the straight rail car, none of that. It's still perimeter chassis. The engines have changed a little bit. Tires have changed. We're allowed a little bit more stuff we can do suspension wise with the shocks and springs and stuff like that. So over the last 6 years, a lot has changed with the cars. But for the most part, your basic, perimeter chassis stuff really hasn't changed any. So it has been a learning curve. There's a lot of technology that trickles down into the cars tour. And I think we're seeing it more now with NASCAR doing what they're doing with the cars that they buy, that you don't really have to fabricate anymore. And a lot of those guys that are fabricators are kind of making their way into our deal, and it's just making everybody have to be better. But I mean, other than that, not too much has changed.
Gotcha. And the only reason I asked that was for the manufacturing. Obviously we got big names and, definitely alliances with, Chevy, Ford, Toyota. And then you had chassis coming in. I'm a huge Kyle Busch fan, and, they had Rowdy Manufacturing. So I started following Sammy Smith when he was doing the Cars Tour.
Yep.
But, and before that, I had no idea that chassis building was that lucrative, because I grew up kind of the same way you did. My dad, raced figure eight cars and ran ARCA on the side. But all his products were either homemade or a hand-me-down chassis. That's how it worked. You knew a dude that knew how to build a chassis.
Yep. Yeah, the technology side has really taken off in the last few years. It kind of started about 6 or 7 years ago. Technology really started to grow in this deal. But these last few years, it's definitely changed a lot, man. It's crazy the stuff that we're doing now, and just the way these cars are running and how hard we can run them at a lot of these racetracks and not lose that much speed. So it's a testament to all these crew guys and crew chiefs and everybody, this stuff that they're doing. For me, somebody that's been racing these for a while now, it's crazy how much it's changed.
No, I know Ashton's been on our show previously, and I asked him the same question. It has to do with Kevin Harvick, Dale Jr., Jeff Burton, and then Justin Marks being the owners of the Cars Tour. There's a lot of eyes on that tour. Does that put more pressure on you to have to feel like you have to succeed, because you got these legendary NASCAR, team owner, and then 3 legendary NASCAR drivers running this series? Number one, and number two, you're sometimes competing against a couple of those guys. In fact, you beat Josh Berry for a championship, one of your championships. So, I mean, is there added pressure for you to feel like you have to succeed in that series as a result of that?
For me, no. And there's a couple things that play into that. One, I love pressure. So the more pressure that gets put on me, the better I perform. But two, I'm not actively pursuing a truck ride or an Xfinity ride or anything like that. I work 50 hours a week, sometimes more. I don't really have the time to go door to door to companies to try to find sponsor to be able to do this. And I've come to accept the sport for what it is. And for me, man, I'm to the point now where I'm just more focused on having fun, and that's what I like about racing with everybody at RNS Race Cars. I mean, we're family, man. We do everything together. We go on vacations together. Go out to dinner a lot together. We talk almost every day. I mean, I'm having the time of my life driving these cars right now. And, if it plays out and it works and something comes along, then great. But, it takes a lot of money to do that stuff. And I just don't have the time to call people and set up meetings and do all the stuff that you need to do to be actively trying to get into something like that. So for the kids, they're looking at it as, hey, this might be my shot to impress somebody. But, for me, I've been completely, totally. I've been racing for 26 years. I know how this works. You know what I mean? Um, you can do all you can do to impress them, but unless you can have that backer to really, help push you along, that's pretty much the end of the line. So, I mean, like I said, for me, it's just more cars we got to pass or outrun, or more cars to worry about having to outrun, or I should say. But for me, it just this business is normal. It don't change my mindset any. We're still going to win races and try to have a good time doing it. So nothing's changed for me.
So like true grassroots racing, like Boo Carlisle, your I guess best friend or buddy, that he said before, but on his Kicking Asphalt blog, he has a little segment called Beers with Bobby or something like that.
Yep.
So I mean, obviously that right there in and of itself says a lot that you are enjoying what you're doing at the track, and you're having at the same time having some fun with some friends and enjoying it, instead of putting all that pressure on it to try to get that seat at the next level, which you have had a couple Xfinity chances.
Yeah. And I learned real quick that you can't carry those cars. I thought I could get in a decent car and go in there and roll my sleeves up and make it something that it wasn't. But you can definitely outspend each other in those top 3 series. So I learned really, really quick that the money that I'd found to run that stuff was just enough to get me in the show. I still needed about double, if not triple, to go contend for top 5s and wins. So that was eye opening. But no, me and Boo and his girlfriend Erin and my wife Brooke, we have a blast. When we went to Hickory, I spotted for the first time, which was so weird. But Boo's been really good to me, man. He's a great dude. He's probably one of the best people I've ever met, and he's kind of helped pull me out of my shell. I've always just been. I show up to the racetrack, I do what I need to do at the racetrack, and then I just go be by with my family or just on my own. I don't really. I used to not branch out that much, but Boo's kind of bringing it out. I reckon you would say to just try to show. I reckon more of who I am as a person and not as much as a race car driver. And it's been great, man. We have a ton of fun. I spotted, then we went to Cowdy Joe's for his birthday, and I mean it was the best weekend I've had in a long time. And his dad Fred and Mama Judy, they're all great people, man. Like it's good times when you hang out with them.
I gotta thank Boo for getting you on. He was supposed to be on, and then in last minute he's like, "Man, I am slammed. I'm running around like a chick with my head cut off." He's like, "I'll get Bobby on for you."
See, I didn't know that. He asked me if I would do it, and I said yes.
Well, I appreciate it.
Yeah, you got catfished.
The whole story, like 10 minutes go by, and he's like, I owe you big time. And I was like, no, man, you don't owe me nothing. I didn't know what he was talking about. He didn't really tell me the story, but okay. All right.
Now you know.
Yeah, now I know. All right, now he does owe me. Yeah, he's right. Yeah.
So I think the last question we're going to ask, because you're at work and we know you got to get back to work. In 2022, you attempted to qualify for a NASCAR Xfinity race at New Hampshire and for Mike Harmon Racing. Unfortunately, you did not qualify for that race. And then later on in 22, with JD Motorsports in the 6 Chevrolet at Bristol, you qualified. So can you tell us the ups and downs of not qualifying and then qualifying for your first Xfinity race?
So New Hampshire was a full experience. I'm gonna go on to you because it was kind of last minute. And I live in northern North Carolina. I'm like 15 minutes from the Virginia line, but it was so last minute I couldn't get a plane ticket. So I ended up having to drive. It was like a 15-hour drive all the way to New Hampshire, and my buddy Dale went with me, and we made a kind of a whole deal out of it. We was tours for a little bit, and then we finally made it to the racetrack, and um, that kind of hurt. I'll be honest with you, not making the show, and I mean the way they got this whole deal set up right now, and I don't see it changing no time soon. But I mean, you think about it, if you come in as a rookie, like for me, I didn't have any sim time at all. I had iRacing in college just to do, in my off time or whatever. But now I got, bills, jobs, family, work around the house. I just don't have time to do it. So I ain't been on that stuff in years. And I'm showing up to these racetracks like New Hampshire, a place I'd never seen before. And you get 15 minutes worth of practice, which really only turns into like 2, maybe 3 runs. And it's really hard to adjust to those cars with the high center of gravity and just how much more race car you have. They got better brakes, they got more horsepower. Their tires are way better. I mean, it's a lot to try to adjust to in 2 5-lap runs or 2 10-lap runs. So I learned quite a bit when we went to New Hampshire, and we did make the race at Bristol with JD Motorsports, and that helped out a ton too. 300 laps is a long time to learn stuff, and the biggest thing with those Xfinity cars is just kind of a easy in, hard off attitude. You can't, if you drive in too deep, then things get super tight. Just way too much weight distribution overloads the right front, and so it took me a little bit to get used to not driving a late model. Those things kind of just bury that into your head. You got to get in pretty deep and be in the throttle soon. So once I got past the overdriving entry, we ran good lap times, but I just got us so far behind. Bristol is a tough place to do pit stops if you've never done pit stops before. So I made a few mistakes, and it was a big learning curve, and it was really cool. I had a great time. But you do what you can do with what you got, and I never really felt like I got a fair shot at it. It wasn't like I was in a car that's been running top 5 or top 10 every weekend. You know what I mean? And so you live and you learn. And I appreciate the experience, to everybody that helped me get there. And it's something I'll never forget. I never thought I would do that to begin with. Honestly, I never thought I'd get out of go-kart racing. So for me to make an Xfinity start, regardless of the outcome, was a really cool deal. So just keep learning as you go.
Before you go, Bobby, just real quick, how is your season going in the Cars Tour? When's your next race? And then if somebody wants to get a hold of you on social media, how do they do that?
Yeah, so we've been having a really good year, actually. We won a race already. We've shown really good speed. We've had some bad luck. We got tore up at Kinley the first race. This past weekend at God, I can't even remember where we was at. At Dominion, we was running top 5, lost oil pressure with about 30 to go, and I don't think it hurt the motor too bad. I hope we parked it in time. I haven't heard back from the engine builder yet, but that was a bad deal. I felt like we could at least been top 3, worst case, and just didn't play out. And we got turned at Orange County. I felt like we had a car to win there, and we had a good car at Langley, and we went 3 wide like 5 different times, and just didn't play. We was in the wrong place at the wrong time. So we've had good cars. We just got this monkey on our back, man. We can't seem to get it off. So we just gotta just keep plugging away. Like I told the guys, you can't keep running up front that much and not win. So we just gotta stay focused and not get caught up in what's going on around us. We just need to stay in our lane and just keep doing what we're doing. We're right where we need to be. We could be a little bit better, but we're definitely in the ballpark. So up next for us is the Thunder Road Harley Davidson 200 at South Boston for the first stint of the Triple Crown. Really looking forward to that. We've won the race 2 times, and a lot of people show up for that deal. It's a really cool race. And South Boston is a beautiful racetrack. I mean, it's one of the nicest places we go to. So we always look forward to going there. And as far as social media, everything's pretty much my name, either Bobby McCarty or Bobby Mac 6 on Instagram, Twitter. Check us out. I try to post as much as I can. Just things get a little hectic sometimes, so I drop the ball a little bit. But has anybody got any questions, or hit me up on there? As far as schedule wise, I'll get you pointed in the right direction with all that stuff. But thank y'all for having me on, man. I really appreciate it. I want to thank all my sponsors, everybody at RNS Race Cars, Sterling Building Group, WG Speaks, DreamWorks, Caswell Glass, Bilstein, BST Shocks, David West Motors, Black Acid, everybody that helps get that car to the racetrack. I can't thank them enough.
We appreciate you having you on, and next time we'll get you on and have you on a little bit longer.
Perfect. Sounds good, man.
All right, sounds good. Thank you.
Take care.
Yes,
Good luck the rest of the season, Boo. Or Bobby, I'm sorry.
That's no problem, man. Thank y'all.
All right.
Yeah.
Thanks, Bobby.
See ya.
All right, we got the driver of the number 9 Alliance Driveway Solutions ride. How we doing, Ashton?
Good. How about you guys?
Doing good.
Thanks for
So-
being patient with us there.
Yeah, appreciate
All
it.
good. All good.
So, first of all, we want to know how the race went at Tri-County. Since we talked to you, Tri-County was there, we were all excited. What happened?
Kind of same thing as Bobby. Just can't seem to get this monkey off our back. We actually had a motor issue on Friday, and ended up finding another motor and swapped it, and was running second in the race. Pretty good car. I don't think we had the car to win. Leader was pretty lights out on speed, but we definitely had a second or third place car at worst. And about 50 laps left in the race. Motor number 2 on the weekend decided to go boom on us. So, it stings a little bit, but I can't thank my motor builder enough. Upchurch, he was there came by on Friday to try to fix my motor, and we worked at it, and finally figured it'd be better just to swap one at this point and put a new motor in. And I think the same thing happened to it. Just a parts failure problem, internal parts, just a parts failure. Nothing you can do about it, nothing anybody can really do about it. But we're gonna keep plugging along. It's kind of like Bobby said, you can't keep running up front and not win one eventually. So I think we've been close a couple times this year. We've had really good cars everywhere we went. Just seem to have some pretty bad luck this year, but we're gonna try to get it shaken off and have a good rest of the year. We got some pretty good races coming up, so I know I'm gonna have a good car at the next few tracks. So hopefully we can get us one.
What is
Nah,
the next
no.
track?
Our next race is July 3rd at Caraway. So
Yeah,
we'll see how that goes.
that was going to be my next question. When we're going to see you back out on the track? We know you had to take a little bit of time off.
Yeah, we just actually got the motor back yesterday, so I'm sure it'll be going in at some point, either tomorrow or the next night. So we're gonna keep plugging at it and get it ready to go.
Now, one of
also-
the things I was going to ask you is Landon Huffman, I think it was Orange County or one of the races where he got hit and a car went over top of him and ripped the whole body off his car pretty much. You know what race I'm talking about, or the
Yeah.
incident? Have you
Yeah.
ever seen anything like that in your career where something like that in your career where something like that has ever happened? I mean, that was nuts. I that's
Uh,
crazy. That whole body just ripped off like that.
yeah, I mean, I've seen like greenhouses come off and stuff, but never that that dramatic. It was just like he hit the wall and it just exploded off of that thing. I've never seen one come off that easy, but yeah, that was pretty crazy deal there.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking the same thing when we were talking to Bobby and he was talking about running uh, Mike Harmon car at Bristol, maybe Bristol, and I'm thinking if you type in top two worst NASCAR races or wrecks, Mike Harmon definitely pops up at Bristol, and I'm like, that is not where I'd want to throw down on my first race in my first car. Not gonna happen.
Yeah, Bristol's a different animal for sure.
Yeah, I think we were talking about that last time you were on. Yeah, I think I'd asked you about the progressive banking and all that stuff, and you were just kind of like, it's such a different animal than your Hickory, your South Boston, your Tri County. That's a big boy track.
Yeah, it don't even come close to relating to anywhere we go really. Only place that's, you get that speed feeling that I feel like I've been to is Wilkesboro, and I still don't feel like it's anywhere near as dramatic as Bristol is for sure. But with the new asphalt at Wilkesboro, you definitely get the feeling of all the grip.
So speaking of
Uh,
Wilkesboro, is it weird with you're going uphill at one point and then you're going downhill on like the straightaways? Can you actually feel that, or is it just like a
You,
normal racetrack feeling?
you can definitely tell a little bit. You turn a whole lot more RPMs down the front stretch since you're downhill, and you have to back the corner up a little earlier because you're downhill and don't have all the hill load the suspension up, and then and three is kind of the exact opposite. You can drive it so far in there because you're going uphill to kind of help you stop. But yeah, you can definitely tell a little bit for sure.
Now
So
I did a little bit of research. If you're in the Mooresville area or Charlotte, look up ALH Tint Works and Detailing. The man here does beautiful work.
Yeah, I try.
I saw that C6 you posted the other day, and I was like, "You got to be kidding me! That thing was sharp."
Oh yeah, I do a lot of that. I've been doing that for a while. Started detailing when I was 16 and started tinting to try to get out of detailing, but here we are still doing detailing. I got to go back and finish ceramic coating one after this, so uh, seems like there's never enough time in the day.
yeah, when I talked to him earlier, he said there wasn't very many miles on that vehicle, and I'm like, all right, I know I got to get you down here. Get my truck all nice and shiny, but he said there was like 1,000 miles on it, didn't you?
Yeah, something like that.
Like holy crap. So 2024 season, we're gonna let you make the announcement. I'll post or I'll pull the picture up, but I will let you make the announcement.
Yeah, so we have got a new associate sponsor that's going to be riding on the C post for the rest of the year, and it is it's the podcast, Area 51 podcast. Can't thank all the guys enough for hopping on board. It means a lot for them to hop on and want to help and be a part of it. And we appreciate y'all coming on for sure. My sizing got a little messed up there on my printer, so I got to redo that and make it a little bigger, but we'll get it fixed up for the next race.
And we appreciate you.
So
Yeah,
hopefully that's your lucky charm is our logo on your car, that you're gonna start getting checkered flags and trophies now.
Yeah, I need something for sure, something to turn my luck around for sure.
And if that doesn't work, we'll put a sticker of Dave's face on your car somewhere.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do something. That's funny you say that. I actually had a buddy. We put a picture of his face on the A post on the ARCA car at Bristol.
I don't know why I can see this, but all I see is Dave's face and his thumb going.
That
Yeah,
might be what we
exactly.
need.
The old hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Yeah, might need to put that on the dash.
Right. It'll be like who did that? LaJoy last year.
Oh yeah, I remember that. That was pretty funny.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
I know you're really busy, and I knew Bobby was really busy. So, if do you guys have anything else for Ashton? Because I know that he wants to get that car done.
no, I'm all
No,
good, man.
you guys are all good. I don't have any hours. I make my own hours.
Nah,
The only
man.
thing I was going to ask is, where's your next race? And then obviously go back over how somebody could get a hold of you through social media or request a hero card. By the way, thank you for the signed hero card. Dave sent his love package, and that was in it along with the Cars Tour hat. So I appreciate that. That was awesome. So thank you, Ashton, for that. So, and Dave.
Yeah,
Problem. Thank you guys for sure.
yeah, greatly
I
appreciate it.
appreciate you guys, or appreciate coming out to the fan day at Racing Warehouse. That was a fun deal for sure.
Yeah, I love kind of having the VIP access. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you guys for everything.
Right.
But I'm on social media, pretty much Ashton Higgins on Facebook, and Ashton Higgins 9 on Twitter and Instagram.
And then where you headed next once we get the motor installed and ready to go?
Our next one is July 3rd at Caraway Speedway. We actually have a little over a month off, so kind of nice, honestly, to be able to catch your breath and regroup and get caught up with everything else. So hopefully we can get turned around and headed in the right direction there. I feel like we've been headed in the right direction all year. Just crazy parts failures on stuff that never ever seems to break until it's time to go race. But just want to thank everybody. Tate and LJ with Alliance. They're really the main reason I'm able to do this Cars Tour deal. It takes a lot to do this. Coming from running limiteds weekly and doing all that, it's a really big opportunity for me, and I just can't thank them enough. They've went out of their way several times to help me and make sure that we get to the racetrack and have everything we need. And Tate's just such a good guy. Took me to Darlington with Jeremy, and just it's cool. You build these relationships over time, and you become more friends than anything. But just want to thank Tate and everybody with Alliance and Leapfrog Landscaping, my secondary sponsor, and Jody and Melody Chandler. They've been on for the past 2 or 3 years now. Players Asphalt Management and maintenance. That's the new sponsor that came on board this year. And Driven Sunglasses, that's a new one we just picked up as well. So if you guys ever need any sunglasses, check those guys out. And you guys, obviously, Area 51 podcast.
Thank you.
That's awesome. That's what I've been waiting for. We've had drivers on in the past, and you and Bobby both nailed it with the sponsors. I try to feed that all the time. I'm like, come on, somebody's got to have the sponsors at the end of the race. Just do it one time. Do it one time. Finally got both y'all to do it.
Yeah, that's well, I was gonna say that too. That was awesome. It was like a victory lane speech. With my sponsors and run them all down like you're looking at the car to make sure you don't forget anybody. And then
Yeah, it's a little bit harder when you're not looking at it.
yeah, exactly.
But damn, I do love Fig Newtons.
Well, Ashton, we'll definitely keep sharing the social media post and make sure that when you're at the track, we share it. And he brought up Driven Sunglasses, so I got to bring this up real quick. If you get on drivensunglasses.com. Make sure you use that Area 51 Racing code to get 20% off your order.
Yep, Stacy got her first pair and she absolutely loves them. So men, women's, they're all super awesome.
Yeah, they got all kinds of frames. They're pretty hard to beat for sure.
And I saw one of your videos, Ashton. I think it was the P1s or whatever, the ones that float.
Yeah, that's the pair I have. And
Yeah.
first thing I did last weekend when I got them was throw them in the lake. I was like, that is awesome.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, damn, that they float. I mean, that if I was still, doing the tournament fishing stuff, I would definitely get a pair of them for that reason.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't know how many
thing.
times they'd blow off when I would be driving across the lake. My damn glasses and hat would go. I'd be
And they're
looking
not
for
like
them.
so buoyant that like when you jump in the water with them, they fly off your face. They're like just the right amount where they just stay like an inch or two under the water but won't sink. So it's pretty awesome to have sunglasses that float in the water.
Yeah, 100%.
So the P1s float. My slide jobs, those actually float for a little bit. You gotta grab them because they will sink, but they float right on top for about 30 seconds and then they go. So it gives you just enough time to jump in and grab them.
Yeah, I actually let mine sit in the water for like 5 minutes. I was like, I'm gonna test this. And Scotty's lying. I'm gonna let him know. But they float, and yeah, it was pretty funny because I didn't tell my girlfriend that they floated. I just took them off and threw them right in the water, and she's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "They float. It's okay."
And I gotta give Driven. I mean, they came up with these crew shirts and they are so comfortable. This is the Alliance Driveway Solutions Darlington throwback shirt, crew shirt. Dave's got one. I've got one on right now. What do you think of them, Dave? I think they're comfortable.
Yeah, they're super sweet. I do like the zip up front and the collars with the pop on it. Just real authentic. Feels great, breathable, not too tight. Makes me look a little more handsome than I do in a normal polo. So I'm kind of digging this. I think I just saw somebody post, wow, Dave looks hotter than dog shit in July. And I agree. But while we got the bullshit flying, I'm just gonna throw out the rumor that Ashton's in the running for the number 19 Truex car next year.
Yeah, I would love nothing more than that.
Right.
I mean, we could probably make a phone call to somebody to try to make it happen.
I know nobody.
That would be crazy.
I have nobody.
I would look like a lost kitten in that thing for at least a couple weeks.
Yeah,
minimum.
We're gonna get him in the number 19 Joe Gibbs Racing Xfinity car first before he can get into that number 19 Truex car. But The question is it going to be Alliance or is it going to be Bass Pro?
I don't know. I'd hope it'd be Alliance. I mean, Bass Pro would be cool, but I don't know. It's not as cool as that Alliance. I mean, the throwback car's just unreal. I'd want to run that every week.
Absolutely.
Yeah, well, for sure.
Yeah, somebody else got to sit in the car too at the Racing Warehouse Fan Day.
Dave.
I think he was trying to reenact when you were able to drive it around Darlington.
Yeah, I didn't have the privilege of firing that bad boy up.
I was just going to say, Tate was smart enough to disconnect the battery from the car so he couldn't take it.
And I tried to buddy up to Ashton as much as I could. I thought I was going to sit in all three of them, and the late model, and then of course Jeremy's car had the full setup, and it was going to dyno that afternoon, which I went to, and those two just weren't happening.
Oh, that's funny. So, are you going to do a throw? Because this has been brought up to me a couple of times. Are you going to do a throwback for your paint scheme at all this year or next year?
Yeah, so more than likely we'll have one this year. It's pretty for sure. Once we get everything finalized and get the wrap done and all that, we'll post it and let everybody know what we're gonna do.
Awesome.
Sounds good.
Yeah,
I hope it's close to us in Carolina, so I might be able to come watch you and
Hickory.
hang out.
Hickory. So
Hickory?
not too far.
Got you. Yeah, you'll have to hit me up with the date, and we'll go figure something out.
I'm pretty sure it's after Caraway. Not, I think 2 or 3 weeks after Caraway, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. I might be
Too
sick
much
that
longer.
day.
Get close.
You
Right,
might be sick that day.
I might be sick that day, just in case my boss is watching.
Come
Gotta
down
get
with a
sick
case
every
of
now and then.
racitis.
Yep.
Well, we appreciate you coming on, Ashton, and good luck if we don't talk to you on the show again before Caraway. And go get that W.
Yeah,
Thank you,
man.
guys. I appreciate you having me on.
You get the
No
W,
problem.
we're gonna have you on so we can celebrate and talk about it.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
We're not gonna put any pressure on you, but just so you know, we're looking forward to having you on. So again, to celebrate that big W.
Hopefully it's coming. I feel like
And-
it's coming.
I think so too, and I think yeah, because they were saying I was watching Race Monitor for that race at Tri County, and I'm like, holy cow, he's in the top 4, he's up to number 2, and then I was doing something, and I went back, and I was like, how's he so many laps down? What happened?
Yeah.
So I asked Bobby, I was like, did he wreck or something? And then he told me your engine had issues, so I was like, oh man, that sucks. So
Yeah. Not much you can do, but I mean, again, my motor builder, went way out of his way to come and try to help us and fix it, and
yeah.
went out of his way to get it done for me so I could have it ready for Caraway. So, thanks to Jeremy Upchurch, that's first class engine builder for sure.
All right, man. Well, as always, we appreciate you being on, and best luck to you, and hopefully I get to see you in Hickory.
Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you for having me on.
You're welcome. Take care, Ashton. Good
Yes.
luck.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah. So that was Bobby McCarty and Ashton Higgins. I appreciate both of them coming on tonight. That was our segment 1 and 2 with Spartan Waste and Alliance Driveway Solutions. I appreciate everybody that has helped us through the podcast. Segment 3, Xfinity Race Recap from Iowa, Jeremy Clements Racing, brought to you by Action RV. And this is the Rob section. So Rob, have a good section, brother.
So what's the over under for tonight?
How about we keep it at 0?
Okay. I'm just okay. So I won't repeat some of the stuff that was said on the radio then during the race.
I'll take the over. I'll take the over.
Yeah. So, the race was a return to Iowa Speedway. Jeremy actually had the race last Saturday was his 20th start at Iowa Speedway in his career. So he had the most starts of anybody in the field. He ended up qualifying P16. Qualifying was actually rained out, but due to the lineup, the metrics for the lineup by the rule book, he was able to start P16. And to start the race, he actually ended up starting P15 because Shane Van Gisbergen in practice had some issue with his car and I had to go to a backup. So he moved up one spot. The race starts, the track is sort of unique because NASCAR owns the track and they decided to repave portions of the corner, or like 2.5 lanes of the corner on each end. And so there's new asphalt, and then above it was the old asphalt. So between that and tire issues. It was an interesting race. But so on lap 3, everything is going really good for Jeremy. He's got a fast car. He's moving forward, and Brendan Poole in the 44 car is underneath Jeremy, gets loose, moves up the track. Jeremy reacts, moves up the track, and he's up in the old asphalt, and his car gets sideways. And he made one hell of a save from not hitting the wall, hitting anybody else, and got the car back under control. However, as a result of having to back out and get the car under control, he dropped from 15th to 24th. He ended up continuing on, and at some point during the first stage, he comes on the radio and he says, "I'm having the same engine issues I had in practice. It's running flat." But he was still running top 6 lap times. So even with that minor engine issue at the time, didn't specifically know what that was, but his car was actually pretty fast and was doing really well. Lap 35, there was a caution. Mark decided to have Jeremy stay out on the old tires. There was 2 other cars that stayed out with him. And that was ended up being an advantage because they had an extra set of tires. Tires was a big issue because, like I was saying before, with the 2 different surfaces of the track, tires were starting to blister. They were tearing apart, chunking, and blowing tires. Cars were wrecking. There was a lot of cars that wrecked as a result of tire failure. On lap lap 35 to stage 1 of the race, Jeremy actually restarted P2 on the front row, and he actually ended up getting the lead, and he led laps 42 through 49 before he was finally passed by John Hunter Nemechek in the 20 car. Jeremy got a lot of airtime. The Whitetail Smokeless car looked badass on TV. Shout out to Rob and his team for another awesome livery. Michael Michelli that does the designs. Bar none, like we've all said, we're all in agreement. They both do amazing work, and Jeremy always has the best looking cars, in my opinion, on the track. So, and that like I said, that 7 laps of airtime, it was awesome seeing his name at the top of that pylon on the left side of the TV, and that bright orange and flat black car running around way out in front for a while. That was awesome.
If you can't tell by all our crew shirts, we're really fond of the Driftless Glenn.
Yeah. So
I actually think I texted you, didn't I, Rob, when he took the lead and I was hooting and hollering?
Yes.
That was
Whitetail
pretty
Smokeless,
awesome because we were celebrating my dad's birthday, so I wasn't able to watch it, and I turned it on my phone, and I was like, "No kidding, Jeremy's in second." Yeah,
I took some pictures of my TV and shared it on X, and stuff. Yeah, it was awesome. I was like, okay, finally the monkey's off the back. Even though he said he has this engine issue, it must not be too bad because he's really got a fast car. We're doing good. He ends up finishing P15 in stage 1. Stage 2, they pit at the beginning between the stages. They pit 4 tires, fuel, and a tear off. He restarts P14, and Jeremy comes on the radio. His car is extremely loose now after that pit stop, taking the tires and stuff. And then he says, and now the engine issue is getting worse. It's running more flat, especially there's no power on the straightaways. And you could tell Jeremy was extremely frustrated based on the tone of his voice because he had a really good car and he knew it was a good car and a fast car. But for some reason, there was an issue with the engine that they couldn't see on the SMT data or whatever. So at lap 124 of stage 2, there was a caution that came out for a car that spun. Jeremy radioed into Mark and said, "Hey, I'm coming into pit." You can raise the hood and look at the engine. He said he also mentioned that the car is extremely loose. And again, Jeremy was really frustrated because he obviously knew he had a good car. He pitted. They opened the hood, checked the engine, checked the spark plug wires, and they also used a heat sensor on the headers to see if one of the headers was cool, to indicate one of the pistons weren't working, or cylinders. I should say piston. One of the cylinders weren't working properly, and they didn't have an indication at that time that any of one of the cylinders or pistons were dead. So they did a track bar adjustment to try to help with the looseness, and they got him back out and kept him on the lead lap. Jeremy made another lap. Mark got on the radio and said you need to come back in. I should go back. The stage finished under caution, and he was at stage 2, finished under caution. He was P17. He goes back out after the pit. They did check the engine. He comes back around, and Mark tells him to pit again for tires. And there was a little bit of a heated exchange between Mark and Jeremy, again, frustration-wise, about everything that was going on. And at that time, they changed tires and got him out on the track. And then the engine dies under the caution laps. He says he has no fuel pressure and he's out of gas. So Jeremy told NASCAR needed to push into the pits, gets pushed in the pit box. They put a can of fuel in the car, still no fuel pressure, started a second can. He got the fuel pressure, got the car fired up, went around. That I'm sorry, I got ahead of myself before. He went back around, then Mark told him to pit again, and then they put the tires on the car. So ended up as a result, he was 2 laps down, starting stage 3, and he was started at P28. During that stage, he still radioed in saying engine issues are continuing, car still is loose. And finally at lap 202, there was a caution, and he finally got the wave around and got 1 lap back. And ultimately there was several other cautions, but cars in front of him pitted that prevented him from taking the wave around. So he ended up not finishing on the lead lap, finished the race a lap down in P21. So very disappointing race for Jeremy and the team, but once again, they didn't quit. They did, worked on the cars. Everybody communicated well. The only issue was Mark couldn't figure out, or Jeremy asked Mark why we ran out of fuel, and Mark said, I don't know. So it didn't show up in their data system why they ran out of fuel. So I'm assuming they're going to get that figured out if they haven't already, and they'll be ready for the next race in New Hampshire Motor Speedway. That's this Saturday. Sam Mayer ended up winning the race for Junior Motorsports. It was a good finish to the race, or at the end of the race, and he got I think it's a second win this year. So it was just like I said before, NASCAR and even the Cup guys were saying too that tires were going to be an issue because NASCAR, who owns Iowa Speedway, paved the sections of the corners. So with that new asphalt going from that to the old, it made the heat difference in the tires and the wearing of the tires. So it was causing tire failure, even though Xfinity and Cup used 2 different tires and compounds and stuff. Both still had tire issues. So don't know a reason why NASCAR didn't repave the whole track. I know a lot of the Xfinity drivers after the race made comments in the post-race interview that the old Iowa was a really good track, really fun to race, but now that they redid these corners, it made it not as fun because it was basically a 1.5 lane track. So, but it was still a good race in my opinion. I didn't fall asleep this week, so that's a positive. But yeah, it was interesting. And to get back to with Rob, this was his first race out sponsoring Jeremy's car outside of Road America. So I reached out to Rob, and I haven't been able to talk to him. I was gonna ask him how everything went. I know he told me previously that if they go back to Iowa and everything worked out and there was like an area to do the meet and greet like they did at Road America, he was going to do that possibly next year at Iowa if they go back. So for all the Jeremy Clements fans, I know I got a handful of my friends that I met up with at Road America that at the meet and greet and stuff that messaged me asking me if I was going to Iowa, and unfortunately I wasn't able to this weekend, even though it's like a 4-hour drive, 4.5-hour drive, but from my house here. So, but either way, I hope Rob and those guys had a good time. And I did tweet Rob, make sure you don't fall off the pit box. So, I'm sure he got a chuckle out of that. So, but other than that, that's my race report brought to you by Action RV.
And now we got story time by Dave.
Story time by Dave is I think we figured out that there's 3 gas cans that are now for sale at theracingwarehouse.com. So if it was a fueling issue, it's not going to be anymore. They have 3 brand new ones that are rip roaring ready to go. Like I was telling these guys, of course, I get chimed in for any sort of piece of sheet metal. I told them that if I already didn't have one, that I'd definitely go grab one. But yeah, it was a very interesting race. I personally thought it was exciting. I like watching the almost 1.5 lines. It kind of gives you that old school bump and run type of technology, where none of the cars were good by any stretch of imagination. I don't think, unlike in the Cup Series, until Larson got bumped and ruined his day, there wasn't another quote unquote dominant car out there. But I did watch both races, did not fall asleep. Saturday was Father's Day, so I got to take a nice nap. But yeah, that's about all I got. I'm tired of all the bad luck. I really am. I was so excited to see him up in even the top 5. And then, then look back, 20 minutes later, and we're 1 lap down. Just constantly, seeing them, battle, 20th. All right, falling off the leaderboard. Back to 20th. All right, fall off the leaderboard. It just seems like it's every week. We got to, I say we like we're part of the crew, but something's really got to, turn around, just for Jeremy himself. I mean, I can only imagine how draining that is to be an owner operator and just catch this shit ass luck. And
yeah, you could tell like the frustration level. I don't think he's necessarily like mad at Mark or his crew or whatever when he's on the radio. It's frustration, and you can tell that. And I get it. I mean, if I'm a driver and it's my, obviously you got more invested in it because you're the owner of the team. It's your money and stuff, and with your partners, and like all his partners are like a family, and you don't want to let them down, and you want to do good and all that I mean, all that pressure, and then all the hard work, and then it's like you got a good car and then everything just goes to shit, and it's like, yeah, it sucks. But I get it. I mean, eventually, like Bobby and Ashton were saying, if you're running towards the front, eventually you're going to win. I mean, you can't give up. You just got to keep grinding, put your head down, and just do what you got to do to keep doing it. Because eventually, good things are going to happen. So,
right. And don't get me wrong, I'm not looking to be up there facing JGR and RCR every single weekend. But if we can start bringing home, top 15s, getting some TV time, that all leads into money, which leads into better equipment. I don't know if any of you guys knew it, but when he did make the playoffs for winning last year at Daytona, Chevy gave him an engineer to help work on the damn car for the rest of the year and in the playoffs. I mean, that's a huge deal for him.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. I agree. And,
Sir.
I think with Hendricks, with the motor deal, he's getting some type of support from them with the alliance, and I think parts and, well, obviously sim time and the wind tunnel stuff. I don't know about engineer or not, but I would assume that would be some part of it, possibly. So, but either way, I mean, it's just all race teams have bad luck at some time. I mean, or just in general in life,
right.
You go through the ebbs and flows of and it's, you got highs and lows, and the shit in between is what you need to take care of. And eventually, things work out for you. So I always tell Bobby, good things come to those who wait. So,
right.
You just got to stick it out and keep digging. So,
but
by no means.
I'm kind of stuck in the middle of both worlds because, obviously I'm a huge Jeremy Clements fan, but I'm also a huge Kyle Busch fan. And, later on in the afternoon, hey, are you going back to Joe Gibbs Racing? Are you fucking kidding me? Said, I told you I'd take the over, but, they couldn't find a sponsorship for him, back then. Are you going to throw him in the 19 car? That just, all those rumors and everything kind of, get thrown around. Hey, are you going back to, Hendrick? And, it's hard. It's hard being a fan. It's, I guess when you're this deep into it, we're emotionally attached as a family to, Jeremy Clements Racing. And, we just hate to see him fail. It sucks.
It does. And by no means, I don't want it to sound like we're bashing him or anything. It's just,
no, not at all.
No, we're 100% behind him. It just just sucks. So
I think it's just, I feel as if, like, when I'm saying that, I don't want to sound like I'm coming off bashing anybody, but, it's frustrating. It's just, as a fan and as a, it's frustrating. And, I take it as, being one of his friends, that I don't want to see him, being put in those positions.
Right. Well, same with Mark. Mark is, his pit crew guys, the guy, the team that travels with him, the partners. I mean, they're all great people. It just, failure sucks. But with failure, you learn from that and you build off of that to gain success. So, it's just when you have so much against you, being the small team, individually owned and operated, and you're going against these big teams, you have a bad day, it makes it twice as bad, which it really sucks. So, and I guess we don't need to remind, by talking about this, reminding Jeremy and his team about this stuff is probably not helping, but just, we're obviously on their side and want them to succeed. It's just, it is what it is right now, and you got to get the monkey off the back and get stuff turned around and start taking the little wins and go build on them. So
Right.
Yeah.
Nope, I agree 100%. And, if it came off as bashing or anything like that, I do
Yeah.
apologize. But I just get a
Yeah.
little animated about it. And, I
No,
kind of, I don't want to say I take it personal, but, I just cheer so damn hard that, I don't like failure. I just, and I don't think it's failure at all, but it's just, we deserve a lot better. As, you know, I look at us as teammates at Jeremy Clements Racing, and you know, good things are gonna come. I 100%. And with this group of guys, we're doing. They seem like they're doing everything they possibly can, but just like Ashton was talking about earlier, or Bobby, you just run into some bad luck, and you just gonna have to, you got some dirt on your shoulder, I'll brush it off for you, and hop right back in the car next week and rock and roll.
yeah, I agree 100%. You know, he's got the old Ganassi chassis. I wonder if that has something to do with it. Being against him on also. I don't know, maybe he can get
The car
some new
scene,
ones or something, and
but
I don't know. Obviously,
we
that's a
know,
lot of money.
right? And like you said in your segment, Jeremy was running, top 6 times. I mean, that's a testament to just how hard those guys work. Because
Oh yeah, I mean, even in previous races when he's like, what race was that where he had no body on the car?
yeah, that was the Alliance car at what was it, Martinsville?
Burnsville.
Yeah,
He was running top 15 times, top 10, top 15
yeah,
times with that car with no front end on it.
yeah.
I
And
mean,
and I actually just found out that that Alliance side that I got,
yeah,
that's usually sitting behind me, that's off of the modified car.
really.
I was doing some research, and I'm like, I'm gonna look this up, and I'm like, well, Alliance put it on the road course, and I said, all right, go a little further than that, and I'm like, hell, that was the car that was halfway on fire at Martinsville. So, yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. It's probably the only piece on the whole car that didn't get ripped to shit,
Yeah,
but definitely the coolest looking car of the night.
100%. And if anything, that race in and of itself is the definition of what Jeremy Clements Racing is about, the no quit.
Yep, I agree.
The no quit, no matter what hand is dealt to us.
Yep.
We don't quit. We deal with it, adapt, overcome, improvise, and succeed. So,
Yep.
Absolutely.
yeah.
So next week, the racing will be at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. If you're at the track, Matt from Beech Ridge will be there. He's going to be doing some, I believe, some hats. If you're looking for one of the Beech Ridge hats, they're very sharp looking. So get a hold of Matt either on Facebook, Instagram, or X. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Next week's show will be Tuesday, June 25th. We will have former ARCA driver Bobby Gerhardt on the show. I'm looking forward to that show a lot. I remember growing up watching Bobby Gerhardt race, and I think I've watched him win a lot of Daytona races in ARCA. So,
Yeah, Bobby Gerhardt and like Will Kimmel are like two of the most popular, famous names in ARCA racing that I remember. So should be a pretty good show, I'm thinking.
Right. So on top of that, you guys have asked over and over and over and over again, and we have finally delivered. We are going to make stickers of the Area 51 Racing Podcast.
Yep.
we will try to get them by Pocono, and then we will start selling them after Pocono. If we get them before, then we will let everybody know. We're still trying to work on a price point on how much they're going to be, but we will be handing some out at Pocono if you're at the track to some lucky fans. We are going to be doing a fan zone in the infield if anybody's down for it. We found out that Joseph Anselitz will be there, so Rob and I are kind of excited about that. Poor Dave, he thought he was going to be able to come, but I think
But-
something happened.
But big news is no, I'm not as luxurious as these fine fellas here. But if you come to the Atlanta race, I will have stickers and I'll be in the Earnhardt suite and I will personally autograph your baby and or the sticker, just to make things right for just us average people that can't be at the infield at Pocono. So meet me there. I'll be with Stacy. I'll probably be wearing the Alliance, even though Spartan Waste and Fox are going to be on that car.
No,
No, that's the
Lion Form's going to be your race.
The Mark
Flying
Martin
Form.
car.
I'm sorry.
Yep.
It was, Pocono race is
Yes.
Spartan
Yes.
Waste. Yep. I'm sorry about that. I got excited there for a minute, thinking I was the man of the people and got my sponsors mixed up. I apologize. I'm only perfect 99% of the time.
Yeah, so everybody's been asking about the stickers. So Anna Moore Designs is going to be hooking us up. I actually want to, everybody's always asking, how do you spell it? How do you spell it? So Dave and I were talking about this today. Here is the logo. Anna does great work on t-shirts, flags, cups. We will be showing the cups here in a second, but t-shirts, cups, sweatshirts, flags, all sorts of stuff. So if you guys are looking for some custom stuff made, Anna is the girl to get a hold of. Dave and Rob have cups.
Yep.
I have this one. Rob, say something so they can see yours.
This is the Wawa 250 Win Cup that we had custom made by Anna. It's amazing. It's the victory lane photo. So
The flags came out absolutely amazing. They've stand up. I have mine outside almost every day, besides when it's really windy out. But it's held up to the wind for the most part. It's held up to the sun, not faded. So I'm impressed. Usually those flags take a beating and they don't last. So you can ask Rob and Dave that one.
Mhm.
I want
But,
to say something. One of the viewers, Billy Milner. It is Frank Kimmel, not Will Kimmel. Will, I think, is the son. Frank is the one that was the one that drove the car, and I think at the one track he had the throttle stick in turn one, and he went straight out into through the parking lot and stuff. So yeah, I apologize. I occasionally have some memory issues with names and stuff. I've been known to mess up names of sponsors and partners and stuff. So I apologize. Thank you for correcting me on that. So I appreciate it to rein me back in.
Not a problem, Rob. My name is Dave and I like to party.
So I'm sorry I cut you off, Bobby. I just wanted to correct that. So I totally for some reason I dropped the ball again tonight with the name.
No, you're good. So
If that's the worst thing that happens tonight, we're doing all right.
Well, that is true. That is true.
So Anna's hopping on right now to watch. So I wanted to throw that all out there. The flags that she does the t-shirts. Dave, do you have any of the t-shirts that were made?
Which ones?
Just any of them that she's made, so that way we can show somebody one of them.
Yeah, give me just a second.
She's done. She's done the flag. She's done. She's doing the stickers for us, and they are gonna look sharp. There are three layers of vinyl, and what they're gonna be able to go on your windows of your car. They're gonna be able to go on notebooks, whatever you guys want them on. She does do really good work. Dave's here now, so you guys
Yep.
can see the shirt she had made.
All right, so first I gotta say, this is an exclusive. I'm not even supposed to show this shirt yet, but it's the only one I had readily available for me. So Stacy, this is the shirt that Ann made for you. Yeah, pretty much literally I send Anna a picture and a overall just words and concept, and she just blows it out of the park. She's also got some other things in the work for me as far as racing goes. So I'm super stoked about all that stuff. And like I said, she's done cups for me. Plus you get these super sweet stickers with everything and punch card. I'm on. If I could find one, I think I've got some sort of reward coming for me. But I'm so glad Anna hopped on and is going to help us out with these stickers. They're going to turn out awesome. I know they will. I always tell her if you give her a concept, she knocks it out of the park and then some. So I really appreciate all the hard work she puts in for not just me, but the podcast itself.
So she's gonna do that concept we talked about earlier, where our bodies are gonna be aliens, and then she's gonna put each of our faces on them and say Area 51 Racing Podcast. That's gonna be the stickers, right?
No, no. But no, I'm gonna talk to her. I've had a lot of people asking about the koozies. This is my Ashton Higgins and Alliance koozie. But I'm gonna talk to her and see if maybe we can get the Area 51 Racing Podcast koozies, because everybody's been asking about stickers and koozies.
They're stuff you just gotta have. Hell, I got a whole drawer of koozies. You gotta have a koozie for damn near anything.
Absolutely. So,
and if you don't want Area 51 on your koozie, just send her an idea of what you do want on a koozie. I don't care if it's a picture of a raccoon holding an AK-47. She'll do it.
Oh, geez. So, don't forget, guys, $15 on stickygears.com to get our Area 51 Racing t-shirts. They're still selling them. Also, like I said, please check out Anna Mora Designs LLC on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Like I said, we just announced that we're doing stickers. Everybody's been asking, so we're finally doing them. Check out the Racing Warehouse for the Jeremy Clements hats, sheet metal, armadillo apparel for all the hats that they have. Those actually are amazing. I have like 6 of them. If you need any sheet metal, die-cast, or racing memorabilia, go to Racing Warehouse, or you can give Dave a phone call because Dave has a secondary shop.
Yeah, it's 1-800 Story Time with Dave.
Oh, geez.
Story Time with Dave.
But I want to give a shout out to all of our partners and sponsors who make this podcast possible. Beach Ridge Barbershop, Spartan Waste, Impel Union, Alliance Driveway Solutions, First Pacific Funding, Elite Towing and Recovery, Whitetail Smokeless, Fly Inform Concrete Structures, Runner's Roost, Matman Designs, Action RV, Booze Pops, And obviously, this podcast wouldn't be possible without Jeremy Clements and Jeremy Clements Racing. And these two fine gentlemen that are in the chat with me, thank you guys.
Oh, you're always welcome. I actually was just talking about Runner's Roost today. I saw a gentleman come in, and I recognized the shoes, and he had a set of Brooks on. And I said, I kind of threw out the Runner's Roost and, told him all about that. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I was turning around because you said the two fine gentlemen, and I was like,
Where's
who's
Buck?
the other one?
The dog's outside the door.
Yeah. No, I'm just kidding. Bobby, like I've said in the past, you and Dave do a lot that a lot of people don't know about. So we are a team, and I think we do a great job together, and do a good product for the people. And we also need to thank our viewers and our followers for everything they've done for us. I mean, interacting with us during our podcast and stuff, questions and all kinds of stuff. So, I mean, that's what makes it worth doing all this for. So we really appreciate all that. So,
And like I said, I want to share it one more time in case you missed it. We have got the opportunity to be on Ashton Higgins' race car for the rest of the 2024 season. I want to thank Dave and Rob, Alliance, Ashton. This is one sweet ride that we're going to be on for the rest of the season. Tate and LJ, thank you guys. I'm looking forward to seeing the car at the track. I wish I could be there this year. Hopefully we'll try to be there for next year. Rob and I are talking about maybe trying to meet up with Dave and go to Darlington next year. And we'll meet up with Ashton and Tate and LJ and everybody. But I appreciate everybody that comes on and does the podcast with us, all of our viewers, listeners, the people overseas. That is still is mind blowing that we are trending overseas right now on Podbean.
I got your number, Hasselhoff. Getting huge in Germany, boy. Coming at
So yeah, I want to thank everybody. I want to thank JP from Germany. He actually reached out to me the other day and said that he's been watching. So JP, thank you very much for watching in Germany. That is very cool. And
what I'm talking about. That's my 1% right there.
that is actually my 1%. That is my foreign exchange student from 2007.
Don't you take this glory from me, Bobby. Don't
Sorry,
you take this
man, I
glory
have
from
to.
me.
I know who it is. But
Damn
I didn't
it.
know he was listening until he said something, and he's like, "Yeah, I've been listening to your podcast." I'm like, "No kidding." I was like, "That's awesome." So
Yeah,
I want to give a shout out. Also, Dad, happy birthday. I forgot to say it last week as we were ending the show. Hope you had a good birthday, and to everybody, I will see you guys next week. Dave, Rob, we're looking forward to talking to Bobby Gerhart. And with that being said, y'all have a great night, and we will see you next Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central.
Sounds good.
peace. Have a great week.
The dog ice cream truck. Booze pop, baby, it's booze pop, baby. Bringing people together. One booze pop at a time. Let's go. We're gonna rock out with our pops out, baby. It's the only pop that keeps you warm. You can rock out till go to boozepop.com.
Y'all have a great night. We'll see you guys.